Something big is going on in Japan right now with gold. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with fear. As we look around, let's talk about what's going on right now. Yes, Japan does have a gold fever. Whenever there is a gold fever, it's usually because people are afraid. Even in the old days, during the gold runs in California and Alaska in the 1849, 1850s, there was gold fever, which made people buy out of fear. Now, there are good reasons for this to happen, and some not so good reasons. I don't think we should ever buy something out of fear, but it's easy to see why people might do that right now, given what's going on. I have to admit that I have recently bought some things and pushed myself a bit out of fear. Still, I'm better now, and another piece is on its way. I also just picked up a piece on layaway from a nearby coin shop, and it's now under spot. Keep watching because I'll show you that near the end of the movie. I want to show you where I am in my journey as well. I finally added a few more bars to my 1-gram Summit Metals case. Some of you may not have seen this, and they are the only dealer with these, which is pretty much their own idea. Head over to Summit Metals to get these cute little 1-gram bars. They're a cheap way to start investing in gold with low prices. It's been a while, but I'm still glad to be making progress. Yes, the Jerusalem Post says that Japan is going crazy for gold. Prices are going through the roof as they go over $4,000. Yes, gold did close above $4,000 this past trade week. As gold prices around the world rose above $4,000 an ounce, Japan saw scenes that reminded people of the 1980s gold rush. People rushed the streets of Tokyo in a frenzy to buy real gold bullion. This is now known as gold fever. That phrase isn't new, but you know it is. But I don't see how that has anything to do with a Japanese gold fever. But that is what does happen. One of the biggest stores in Japan that sells precious metals, Tanaka Kikinzuku, has stopped selling small gold bars that weigh 5, 10, and 20 grams because of the huge demand that has wiped out stockpiles around the world. That's not the same thing. Local news outlets said that there were 5-hour lines around the company's main store in Ginza as desperate buyers fought for what little was left. It was still possible to get bars that weighed 50 grams or more, but it's not clear how long that will last. It began with little lines. Mike Maloney says they got longer and went around the block after that. We saw the same thing in 1980 when panic buying happened all over the country. That could also happen to gold in the US. It could also happen to silver. It's really interesting. What's going on with valuable metals in the world today is very interesting. There are many people selling, but there are also many people buying. Small lines at first, but they got longer and went all the way around the block. This is happening more and more often. The rise in demand in Japan is part of a larger trend that is happening all over the world. The same thing is happening with silver markets. Buyers in Europe and North America are having a hard time getting coins and bars, and the prices of those items are going through the roof. There are people who have silver that can't give it back because there is an oversupply of silver in some parts of the precious metals market, but not so much gold. But gold is also being bought and sold. They told me that they've been selling a lot of gold lately when I went to pick up the gold coin that was on layaway from a nearby coin shop. I mean, a huge amount. It's pretty amazing to see how quickly they move and turn around. Analysts say the move shows that people are losing faith in fiat currencies and are worried again about inflation, debt, and the security of the world economy. Individual buyers aren't the only ones caught up in the gold rush. According to reports, stablecoin maker Tether added 19 tons of gold to its balance sheet in the first half of 2025, including 15 tons in the second quarter alone. This is about the same amount of gold that China's central bank bought during the same time period. A Tokyo-based financial magazine called the Kobayashi Letter said that the world's central banks bought an extra 15 tons of gold in August. This was the 27th month in a row that they bought more gold than they sold. In fact, this is something that has been going on with central banks since 2022. Central banks are still buying gold, and there aren't many signs that they will slow down. But we are our own central bank, and the Japanese government knows this, so they're starting to buy more gold. Mike Maloney said, "This isn't a blip. How countries and businesses think about money is changing in a way that will last for a long time. When people lose faith in paper money, gold is the only thing that can save them." That is really true. We do have money here, you know. These currencies, like the dollar, which is the best currency in the world, are also a bad idea. They lose value every year. And even though it's money, its value is going down because it's a source of value. People still believe in it, though. Because of the tune so much that people still haven't quite made the big change here in the US and in other countries. We're seeing a little more of that now that the price has gone up and people are more aware of what's going on, especially in places where cash currencies are used. So having some gold in your wallet is a good idea, even if it's only a little. Even with these prices, I'm not at all suggesting that you buy in a hurry, but I believe that gold should be kept safe. At this point, I wouldn't sell it. That being said, I believe we should wait until things settle down on their own, because there is a problem with both the gold and silver markets. This is the most recent news about what's going on there. In the end, gold is the only thing that can save you, so cryptocurrencies won't do that either. It's still pretty much a guess at this point. So when the rumors come true, prices can go up and down wildly like they have been doing lately with Bitcoin. The price of gold has gone up. Bitcoin is now worth less. The COMEX gold futures market broke above $4,000 an ounce on the trade floors, which means prices are going up quickly. Also, silver went up above $48 there. Also, silver is worth $50 right now. Those prices are going backwards in that market. Now, Bullion Star, one of the biggest bullion dealers in Asia, revealed that sales this week broke all kinds of records. Customers keep buying in large numbers. Price isn't stopping people from wanting it. Investors are buying physical goods instead of waiting for prices to drop, which isn't happening. And Japan's last major craze was during the gold boom in the late 1970s. Time magazine compared the buying rush to the opening weekends of Star Wars and Apocalypse Now. That really makes me feel better, to be honest. But remember that I don't think we should buy because we're scared. But we see it a lot of the time, and we're seeing it happen again in Japan. The story now says that buyers today are not interested in new things, but in being safe. And that's not the right way to do things. Simon Mikhailovich, a businessman, said that people who think they missed out on gold are not seeing the big picture. People who paid more for lifeboats are just as happy if the ship sinks as people who paid less. Prices have reached all-time highs, but experts say the real rise may still be to come. As a result of central banks buying gold at an all-time high for 2 years in a row and individual buyers clearing out dealers' shelves, global supplies are quickly running out. In the next step, cash for gold shops might open up again in places around the world, but this time there will be more buyers than sellers. It is possible to make yen or dollars, but not gold, says Mike Maloney. Of course, that's right and true. That's where we are now, and I think it's great. Now, let me tell you about the gold coin that I had put on hold at the coin shop near me for a long time. Building a good friendship with your neighborhood coin shop can lead to, nice benefits. They now let almost any customer put things on layaway as long as the customer trusts them to pick up the items. It's a risk for them to do it, of course. And in this case, the risk paid off for me instead of them. But there have been many times when it worked against me and for them. That's fine, I guess. So when I picked this up, it was well below the spot price. But it's a gold 20 franc coin. Yes, indeed. We got this one from Belgium. I picked this up. It really weighs 0.1867 grams of gold. This is a beautiful coin from 1875. That's an LMU coin, Every single one of them was made between 1867 and 1882. However, they don't come up nearly as often as their French and Swiss cousins. This does happen sometimes, but not very often. One reason I got it was because of that. So it's pretty crazy. It shows a bust of King of Belgium, Leopold II. Some of them have even better beards. This one has a beard that is kind of rough, coarse, and thick. Following that are the crowned royal arms and a coin term with the value of 20 francs on the back. What a nice amount of money and date. On top of that, those are nice detailed royal arms. Really, really nice. They were made at the Royal Mint of Belgium in Brussels. So yes, indeed. Now here's another one. If you want to get coins that are close to spot price, I think these are one of the best choices. If not, maybe right there or sometimes a little below it. But I like to pick and choose these things. It also has the writing around the edges. I just wanted to add this old coin to the stack. That's what I did. That's all there is to it. Tell me what you think about Japan, gold, the fear and frenzy going on right now.